This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Monday. It's freaking Thanksgiving week. Thank you for joining me. We have a fantastic show for you tonight. Special programming note, we got a big show coming up tomorrow night. I got an announcement on that here in just a second. We're going to cover all the day's top news, all the weekend's top news. If you'd like to call in and debate with me, 917-830-4359, or hop on the Discord, we can have it out. Now, I am finally back on the Facebook. If you guys have been following the saga of Poop Boy went through all my posts back 3 or 4 years reporting everything. So I just got finished serving 2 back-to-back 30-day bans on Facebook. And first day back, I actually get, these are my favorite too. So this right-winger messages me. I commented on something he said on a thread. The right-wingers are really turning on Fox News right now because Fox News has been reporting news as opposed to spoon-speeding them what they want to hear. I think I got a clue. What's up, Apple Juice? So the righties have been leaving Fox News in droves. And this guy commented that, Fox is owned by Disney now. Now, that's not true. Disney bought News Corp. But not included in that is Fox Sports and Fox News. So I pointed that out on the thread he was on. And then in true right-winger fashion, he hops up in my DMs and says, "Here you go, asshole. Get a fucking clue, you fucking troll. Read it, asshole!" Exclamation point, exclamation point. Now, the article he sent me was this one. Fox Corporation becomes standalone company as Disney deal set to close. And if you scroll down here, you will find that Fox Sports and Fox Broadcasting join Fox News as assets that will make up Fox Corporation, which is officially a standalone company. The rest of the assets, like Fox the Network and their TV libraries, have gone to Disney. So this dude, in true right-winger fashion, sends me an article that proves me correct and then tells me to read it and yells at me and calls me an asshole. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. But hey, I've been saying it for years now. Years. Right-wingers are morons. The absolute dumbest people walking the planet. Now, big announcement. Tomorrow night on the show, I will be joined by accused Kenosha killer Kyle Rittenhouse. As far as I know, this is going to be his first media appearance since posting bail on Friday. His mom has been on a few shows. We're going to watch one of those interviews here in just a second. But tomorrow night, Kyle Rittenhouse will be here on this stream, and I get to interview him. Please, leave comments. Tell me questions. No, I'm not trolling. Tell me questions you would like to hear me ask. I've been in... Now people... I got called out on the stream the other night, and a dude was like, "You have 34 followers on Twitch. How'd you land Kyle Rittenhouse?" Because I've only been on Twitch a couple of months. I come from terrestrial radio and television. I've been doing this shit for 20 years. I've got some contacts in high places. As I pointed out on my Facebook post, I have interviewed Senators Mitch McConnell, Jay Rockefeller. I've interviewed New York Times bestselling author and WWE champion Mick Foley. I've interviewed a Miss America. I interviewed a guy that was in Tower 2 of the World Trade Center when the second plane hit for my 5th anniversary of 9/11 show. I interviewed troops serving in Iraq at the height of the Iraq War. So I've got the cojones to pull this off. I tell this to say, like, trust me, you want to tune in for the interview tomorrow. Kyle Rittenhouse will be on this stream tomorrow night. Please share it out with all your friends. Share it out with all your right-winger friends. I'm going hardcore for that hate watch group. That hate watch demographic. I try my best to get the right-wingers to call in and debate with me. That seems to be the most popular segments on this show. But, you know, they're pussies. Obviously, Rittenhouse isn't too much of a pussy. He's willing to come on the show tomorrow night. 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord if you would like to talk to me. Let's talk about some stories, right? So since Rittenhouse is on everyone's mind, I have a feeling we're going to get quite a few people viewing the stream tomorrow night. The MyPillow CEO and Ricky Schroeder.
So developing tonight in Wisconsin, Kyle...
Now, I have no clue who Ricky Schroeder is. Can somebody tell me? Like, I looked up his credits. I'm like, I've never even seen any of this shit. But apparently, he's a real dickhead. And he helped raise the $2 million to bond out Rittenhouse. Let's take a look at this video.
Rittenhouse is out of jail tonight after posting a $2 million cash bond. He is the teenager.
What's Silver Spoons?
Shooting and killing 2 protesters this summer in Kenosha.
I have no clue what that is.
The celebrity who helped to raise money for his release. NBC5's Natalie Martinez reports.
You keep saying it like I should know.
Accused of shooting
Silver
and killing
Spoons.
protesters Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum during civil unrest in Kenosha over the summer. Tonight, the Kenosha County Sheriff's Office confirms that Kyle Rittenhouse, who is being held on $2 million bond, has been released Friday. That money posted through...
I don't know what goddamn Silver Spoons is. I've never heard of it. Couldn't have been too big of a show.
And MyPillow CEO helped make that happen. Late tonight, a tweet from
MyPillow
the same source
guy
featuring Rittenhouse with Schroeder and his attorney. Rittenhouse...
MyPillow guy, you must still be on drugs, dude. Spending that kind of money on this fucking asshole.
Faces multiple counts, including intentional homicide and illegally possessing a gun. Tonight, we've learned that the man charged with getting him that rifle, Dominic Black, will face trial. Black faces felony charges of unintentionally giving a dangerous weapon to a person under 18, causing death.
And the dude that called me out on the Twitch stream the other night, I said that Rittenhouse was illegally armed. He's like, he's not even facing gun charges. I'm like, yes, he is, you stupid fuck. These people don't know. And he was like, I'm from Wisconsin. I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't.
In video obtained tonight from the Antioch police, Black tells police what Rittenhouse allegedly told him on the drive home from Kenosha.
He said he aimed center mass.
Black told police Rittenhouse said he fired because people were attacking him and going to kill him.
He said with a skateboard and then pieces of wood.
No, they felt threatened and they were defending themselves against you. Believe me, I'm going to ask him about that tomorrow night.
Rittenhouse's sister, Faith, in the same police station just hours after the shootings.
I bet he was crying.
Rittenhouse himself.
Speaking of crying right-wingers, you're going to want to stick around. I got plenty of that. We got some MAGA porn for later. You guys will get a kick out of it.
Telling the Washington Post in a report this week that he used a stimulus check to pay for his gun and had to protect himself.
Now just think about that. Just think about that. Oh, if this kid was black, I used my stimulus check to buy a gun. But he just says it like it's no big deal because white people have privilege in this country. I don't know what you mean by Montreal Screwjob. But speaking of Survivor Series, I'm actually going to play a little clip from last night's farewell to The Undertaker. Stick around, that's going to be at the end of the show. I've got thoughts on The Undertaker.
Regret it. I feel I had to protect myself.
We can blame Trump for plenty of shit. Yes, Trump himself is a murderer. He has murdered 250,000 citizens of this country. Genocidal maniac.
I would have died that night if I didn't.
Rittenhouse's attorney insists that he acted in self-defense. Our calls and emails to him.
Oh, I'm going to blame Biden for a hell of a lot of shit.
Schroeder. We do know there is a December 3rd preliminary hearing. Natalie Martinez, NBC5 News.
Our thanks to Natalie.
I think we're going to blame Biden for some shit on this show. But I very much look forward to January when Biden takes over. And I go back to just being exclusively bashing Democrats all the time. The Trump administration has been really annoying for me, especially doing this show this year. Because doing the show, I've just been like playing videos and be like, hey, look at these dumb fucks. I might actually get to have some erudite political commentary. Now that like the national embarrassment is going to be out of office. And that's not my words. Chris Christie said it. We'll play that video here in a little bit too. All right, so as far as I know, Rittenhouse's first appearance in the media is going to be on my show tomorrow, but his mom has been on several outlets giving interviews.
Speaking with the mother of the Illinois teen charged with shooting and killing 2 protesters in Kenosha. Kyle Rittenhouse is right now awaiting trial in a Wisconsin jail.
Yeah, his mother doesn't know how he got the gun, but says he did shoot in self-defense. So WGN's Patrick Elwood spoke with her and is now live in Vernon Hills with more. Patrick?
Ray and Micah, good evening to you. Wendy Rittenhouse says she has moved her family from Antioch because they have been receiving death threats. Tonight, she is speaking out, trying to make her case in the court of public opinion on behalf of her son, Kyle. She says he only acted in self-defense.
It was self-defense.
The fuck?
The mother of 17-year-old Kyle, who is accused of killing 2 men, Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, and wounding a third, Gage Grosskreutz.
There was like Matt and Trey from South Park. They gave a great interview about dealing with Trump. Like, I think they said it's like a rat just running into a wall over and over again. You can point out that, hey, the rat is funny. You know, that's stupid, but you can't really make comments about it. You can't make jokes because just a rat running into the wall over and over again. You can't say anything that's funnier than that. I can't do anything but, like, play videos of Rudy Giuliani with hair dye running down his face or in front of a dildo shop. Nothing I can say is funnier than that shit just on its own.
In jail that he shouldn't be in.
Wow. This woman.
In jail.
Wendy wishes her son hadn't been there or the protesters. She said had officials in Wisconsin stopped the looting as soon as it started.
She drove him there. How can you say you wish that he wasn't there when you're the one that took his ass across state lines? I don't know what to say to that. These people are just shameless.
It would be an entirely different reality.
It's the governor of Wisconsin and the mayor of Kenosha. They should have stepped up.
Wendy says Kyle and a friend originally had gone to help clean up a Kenosha auto dealer that had been looted and vandalized after the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake.
Good job and everything. You know, you're cleaning up the graffiti.
She says she knew nothing of the gun that had been given to him by that friend. As the night wore on, He told his mom he was sticking around to help if anybody got hurt.
I texted him earlier before I went to bed, seeing where he's at, and all I got was, I'm okay, Mom. I'm doing medic.
And when asked if her son should have had the AR-15 style gun in the first place,
everybody has a right to protest.
Yes.
Everyone has a right to counter-protest.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that some people have here is that your son was down there with a gun.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else.
You said what I was thinking.
Had guns.
I almost said I didn't want to say it.
You know what? If he didn't have that gun,
God, she's like a like if Sam Kinison bred with a troll. Oh.
my son would have been dead.
certainly not everyone was armed. But she claims Kyle was acting in self-defense after Grosskreutz of Racine fired a handgun in the chaos that had ensued. Grosskreutz denies that firing of that gun. According to the...
Well, it's amazing that he's facing trial. She's going out and giving these interviews. That's not wise. No lawyer would tell you to do that. But hey, Lynn Wood is representing him. These are the same people that are adjacent to Trump's legal team. So that should tell you something.
Criminal complaint, though. Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum first.
That is a very, very good point. And then they talk about how someone shot at him. No, they didn't. They fired a shot up in the air. You see it clearly from the video. Now, the argument back was like, well, he didn't know that no one was firing at him. Well, clearly, he doesn't have the temperament to be holding that gun, which is the reason why it was illegal for him to have the gun in the first place. Right-wingers are all about personal responsibility, they say. And that's my question. Why isn't he taking personal responsibility for his actions and owning it like a man? No, he's going to cry in the jailhouse. And then he's going to fight and say, oh, it's self-defense. They were attacking me. But please, let me know what you want me to ask him tomorrow night when he's on the stream.
He was chased. He fired off more shots, killing Huber and wounding Gross.
He had, at this point in time, he had already killed somebody. And these people are heroes trying to disarm a murderer. And don't you find it ironic that it's always self-defense when it's a right-winger that shot, but never the other way around? It wasn't self-defense when Kenneth Walker shot at the cops that were busting through his door. No. He deserved it. It's what the same people that are defending this motherfucker say. You're correct. It is hypocrisy, but pointing out hypocrisy doesn't work on these people. You have to feel embarrassment and shame in order for calling out hypocrisy to work. They don't.
But Wendy and his defense team say Kyle only fired.
Creed, I probably called you a fucking idiot hundreds, if not thousands of times. I probably called you a fucking idiot more times than Poop Boy has sent me pictures of fecal matter.
His gun to save his own life.
He had that gun for his protection.
The single mother of 3 who works as a certified nursing assistant describes her son as someone who always wanted to help others first. In the aftermath of these charges,
your son's someone that likes to smack around a girl.
Has been raised for his
He's a fucking bully.
And conservative groups. For that, she is very thankful.
I couldn't be more grateful in the bottom of my heart.
And to the families of the men he is accused of killing and the third wounded.
I'm pretty sure you can post links. You're a moderator. Fucking idiot. Aw.
At the moment, I don't.
Hold on, what was that?
Almost $2 million has been raised for his defense by individuals and
Absolutely.
groups.
I don't. So I'm conflicted on that. He deserves to do some time. I don't want to see him spend the rest of his life in jail. I'm not for draconian sentences for anybody, and I want to be intellectually consistent about that. I don't think they do anything to prevent crime. And unfortunately, this dude's just a fucking kid. And he's had his head filled with all this bullshit for the shoes. Okay, I can agree with you on that. But he's had his head filled with all this nonsense from right-wingers egging him on. I'm sure he absolutely thought he was a patriot and doing his duty while he was there in Kenosha that night, August 25th, I think it was. There's no doubt in my mind. But that doesn't absolve him of taking the lives of other people. So I don't know. He shouldn't spend the rest of his life in jail. But I don't think anybody should spend the rest of their life in jail unless you're just an absolute danger to society. And even then, like, I wish we locked him away on an island or something. I also don't believe in free will either, so I've got some weird views about things like that. Now, what was the question she answered?
I couldn't be more grateful in the bottom of my heart.
And to the families of the men he is accused of killing and the third wounding.
Do you have anything to say to them?
At the moment, I don't.
Wow. You're not even going to express condolences or remorse? And she's a nursing assistant. Shouldn't she have some compassion? Insane. Now on Friday, we played the video of the shooting that happened in Florida. But when I was playing that video of the cop shooting at the car of the two completely innocent teenagers, I was not aware of what was going on in Omaha.
Tom's body may be paralyzed, but his brain is not.
Unable to move on his own.
So there was a police shooting Thursday night, or maybe it was Wednesday night. Here, let's watch the video and get the breakdown here.
With the black man last night in South Omaha. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm David Earl.
I'm Alexandra Stone. They say the man had a loaded gun with him. In a moment, we'll hear from a woman who has her own first-hand account. First, though, from police confirmation.
Yeah, that's the like.
Shot by an officer is Kenneth Jones.
When you hear this, the news is framing it, from the police report that they received, and then when you hear the eyewitness account and get the details, it doesn't sound like the police account was possible at all. So let's give this a listen here.
Age 35. In a news release moments ago, Omaha police said they ordered Jones to stop reaching as they tried to get him out of a car during a traffic stop. Police say body cam video shows Jones moving around as police walked up to the car. Officers used a flashlight to break a window.
Now, the first thing I want to say, and I want to point out as you're listening to this, is it makes it sound like, he was the driver of a car. He was a passenger. He was in the back seat of the car. Nothing about this sounds on the up and up.
Window, and they say Jones continued to try to pull away. During the struggle, a police officer yelled, "He's
pull away." He was not the driver.
Got a gun, and then gun. Then 4 shots were fired. An officer shot Jones multiple times during a struggle. Jones was killed. Police say they recovered a loaded .45 caliber handgun under Jones' body after they performed CPR. Late this afternoon, we heard from a friend of Jones, the woman.
And that's another thing. A lot of right-wingers will go off, oh, he had a gun. Well, he deserved to get shot. But those are the same people who promote that supposedly everybody should have a gun. Tell me that's not racist. Tell me that's not racist. Like, the disconnect in the things these people say blows my fucking mind. Struggle after traffic stop. Remember, as we're listening to this, keep all this shit in mind when we hear from the actual people that were in the car with him. The driver of the car. Because that's like, why are police even concerned about the person in the backseat of the car as they're walking up to it?
Driving that car stopped by police. KETV Newswatch 7's Michelle Bandor leads our big story coverage at 6.
Well, Alexandra, that woman tells me she wants the truth to come out, and that's why she's sharing her story. She said inside the car with her was her friend, her daughter, and Jones, who she called her daughter's friend. She said they didn't do anything wrong. All she says she did was give Jones a ride to the store for some beef jerky and cigars.
Sounds fun to me.
And I was recording this stuff. I took my camera out.
Beef jerky and cigars. That's a hell of a fun Thursday, Wednesday night, whatever it was. Now, I assume it was blunt wraps. But there ain't nothing wrong with that either.
They started recording this stuff. And I asked them, why did you do this? They said, ma'am, step back. They tried to do CPR on him. But he was already pronounced dead to me.
This woman says she was the one behind the wheel when police officers stopped her car at 27th and Harrison. She doesn't want us to use her name. Now, she says it's not unusual to give her daughter's friend rides in exchange for gas money. She says she picked him up at his mother's house and went to the quick shop at 36th and Q. On the way back, just before 7:30 is when she says the police shooting happened.
I seen lights, police lights. So all I seen was police lights. No sirens, no nothing. I heard the officer say, everybody.
It is a really, and I like the Santa mask too.
I had my hands out
that the other lady is wearing.
Caddy corner, okay? All I seen was 2 officers jump out that car fast, had something in their hand that was black, busted out the passenger.
See, this doesn't make sense to me. What in the world was going through these cops' minds? Yeah, both of them have really cool masks on. I like her bandana too. Headscarf.
I mean, the backseat car window. I was the driver. He's right behind me.
She says she grabbed her phone after the back window shattered, and now police have it. Standing with the woman.
And that's another thing that just a huge red flag to me. They confiscated her phone. They do not want the truth to come out. And by God, it wouldn't if this didn't receive national attention. If they weren't rioting and protesting in Omaha. I believe it's still going on tonight. I know they did over the weekend.
2 community activists with keeping North Omaha safe for everyone, who are calling for the police chief to release the officers' body cam videos.
Whether we like it or not.
And I'm telling, as somebody who has been in the media for 20 years, if the body cams proved the cops' side of the story, they would release them immediately. But no, we're probably going to have to file multiple Freedom of Information Acts. There will probably have to be a judge order to get the body cam footage released. It's absurd.
If the body camera shows, hey, there was a weapon or there was a struggle, then okay, people can understand that more than just seeing the end result of another shooting.
Another shooting.
Tells me that she never saw a weapon on Joe.
This is the thing. Another shooting. I didn't get to cover this on Friday because I was covering another shooting where 2 completely innocent teens, the cops had the wrong car, were shot and killed by a criminal. The cop had felony charges against him. He should have never had a badge in the first place. This shit is infuriating.
Jones, and that she never felt afraid of him. She also says that Jones walks with a limp after being in a car accident a few months ago. Now you're going to hear more from.
He doesn't walk with a limp anymore, unfortunately.
Coming up.
They killed him.
Newswatch 7 at 10. Back to you, Alexandra.
All right, Michelle.
All right, so hopefully we'll get some body cam footage and we'll see the cell phone footage. And that's another thing. If you guys, you've got your iPhones, you got your Androids, it's always a good idea to either like go live on a service like Facebook Live or something, if you can, or have it to where your footage automatically uploads to the cloud. So that if cops grab your phone, that footage still exists, because that could help you in court cases. Because I will tell you, the cops will not hesitate to railroad you. We've seen it over and over again, just like in Louisville. They made every effort to cover up the malfeasance of the cops involved in the killing of Breonna Taylor. All right, how about some stupid politics? Here is Laura Trump on Fox News. I don't know when this happened. This was posted yesterday.
Laura, what is, you're undoubtedly right about the number of people or the enthusiasm out there or the passion out there for making sure this election was on the up and up. But to what extent, I'm curious, do you...
It was. The only people who aren't on the up and up are the right-wingers. Lindsey Graham trying to pressure the Secretary of State in Georgia. Trump inviting the lawmaker, the canvassing board to the White House over the weekend. They were seen in the Trump Hotel drinking expensive wine.
Do you think the campaign will go? Will it go to those state legislators?
Well, that's a possibility. Look, we've obviously been...
No, it's not.
...putting forward lawsuits across the country in states where we feel like there were really egregious violations of people's rights and the way this election process played out. And we're open to anything. We, again, want the right thing to happen here. And so far, you've seen the fraud that has been uncovered. You've seen that dead people have been voting.
Man, Laura Trump ran everybody out of the stream. I'm sorry. My bad.
People have been voting in multiple states. The recount in Georgia just showed that suddenly, oh my gosh, thousands of votes were uncovered, most of which went to Donald Trump, that somehow they missed the first round. So we're open to doing whatever is necessary to make sure that this election happened in the proper way. And again,
She is Eric's wife, I do believe. And she is mulling over running for governor or Senate in North Carolina, I believe.
Legal vote gets counted.
Laura, what is, you're undoubtedly right about the number of people or the enthusiasm out there or the passion out there for making sure this election was on the up and up. But to what extent, I'm curious, do you think the campaign will go? Will it go to those state legislators?
Well, that's a possibility. Look, we've obviously been...
We've already played this part. But they're trying to pull the completely constitutional act. Honestly, she is a much better speaker than either of the two idiots. Beavis and Butthead. Now, as we were getting ready to go on the air, breaking news, President-elect Biden to begin the formal transition process after the, it's the GSA? Yeah, the GSA is the agency that has to greenlight the transition. And that, Emily something or other, Emily Murphy, had been holding up the letter of ascertainment. Now, Trump tweeted this out, I guess, just a few minutes ago. I want to thank Emily Murphy at GSA, for interfering in the peaceful transfer of power, is what he's saying. For her steadfast dedication, and loyalty to the country. Loyalty to him is what he says. She has been harassed, threatened, and abused. And I do not want to see this happen to her, her family, or employees of GSA. Our case strongly. It doesn't matter whether he concedes or not. I'm kind of enjoying watching him throw his little baby fit. And this is another thing, like, I was a hardcore Bernie supporter, but at this moment in time, I'm kind of glad that it's Biden. Because Biden is an institutionalist. Biden has all the connections to the Pentagon, to the people in Washington. I honestly believe, say Bernie won the election, even if Bernie had won it by a landslide, 10 million votes, had more than the 306 electoral college votes. I think it's very possible that the powers that be, the oligarchs that run this country, might have gone along with Trump's little coup. And that worries the shit out of me. I mean, any respectable person would have quit if they actually had a love for the country or democracy. But clearly she wasn't a respectable person. Now Trump believes they will prevail. And that in the best interest of the country, now, multiple cases have been thrown out. The case in Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court said, nuh-uh, we're not going to hear it. And you have to wonder why when they have such a crack team of lawyers on the case. This is Sidney Powell. We're going to talk about her ouster from the Trump legal team here in just a second.
Let me ask you about the state of Georgia. Obviously, yesterday, the governor there, he certified the election for Joe Biden. It's about 12,000.
You say that, but I kind of doubt that. I mean, you would think people from the Bush administration would never work in Washington again. But I'm sure the Biden administration is going to be full of them.
Votes. And what you see, will Georgia switch?
Yeah, that's a total farce. Georgia's probably going to be the first state I'm going to blow up, and Mr. Kemp and the Secretary of State need to go with it because they're in on the debate.
Now, this is another thing. When I was over on Operation Catterday with Echoplex, they were watching the rally in Georgia, and the first thing I noticed was a sign that said Primary Kemp. Kemp, a hardcore Trump supporter. The Republican governor of Georgia. We have a split going on in the Republican Party. And I'm here for it. And several people during that rally was like, why should we even vote for these people? Blah, 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 blah. Our votes don't count. Good. Good. Think that way. Please. Why should you vote? Just because the governor won't help you cheat. Yeah, don't vote, please. Keep that energy for the Senate runoff races on January 5th.
Opinion scam with their last minute.
But now, I've had a theory about Miss Powell here. Or maybe Mrs. Powell, I don't know. I believe she's wine drunk. She looks like the kind of person that'd be a little wine drunk at 11 a.m. Kemp did try to cheat for himself. But Kemp did it before the election. He did it by purging voters. Like after the election, he's like, hey, my hands are tied. It's the law, guys, You got to be a little less obvious with your cheating. But, right-wingers are just absolute fucking... hold on. Right-wingers are absolute fucking morons. Well, I didn't say she wasn't a classy lady.
Purchase or award of a contract to Dominion of $100 million. The State Bureau of Investigation for Georgia ought to be looking into the financial.
That's a very good point.
Received by Mr. Kemp and
if he could have cheated for Trump, he would.
Family about that time. And another benefit Dominion was created.
But I wonder if Sidney Powell's ouster from the Trump legal team has to do with giving interviews like this and attacking Kemp when they desperately need to hold on to the Senate. Comes down to those two races. And boy howdy, there couldn't be two worse candidates that the Republicans could run. I'm not that big of a fan of John Ossoff, but Reverend Warnock is a hell of a good candidate. I am behind him. And David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler are both dumb as fuck. They're not going to toe any line. They don't give a shit about party loyalty. I think they're only going to do what is politically expedient. And especially for Loeffler, it's all about the money.
Created to award is what I would call election insurance.
I'm not sure about MLK Jr.'s church, but he is a reverend. And several of the attacks on him by the right-wingers, because I'm pretty hostile to religious people. I don't tend to like them. But after several of the attacks, I looked up what they were talking about. I like Reverend Warnock because he stopped some cops from railroading kids and was like, hey, these kids need to have a lawyer present. That's my kind of guy.
That's why Hugo Chavez had it created in the first place. But I also wonder where he got the technology, where it actually...
I don't even know if there are moderates anymore.
...scorecard from the CIA.
Just to clarify, you're saying that Governor Kemp, who's been a longtime ally of the president, is directly involved because of financial benefit in the conspiracy to defeat the president in Georgia?
We have certainly been told that there is evidence of that, and it would warrant an investigation.
I'm with you too. I thought if they didn't win the jungle the one was a jungle. There's like 5 or 6 people in it. That was the Ossoff Perdue race, I think. Hugo Chavez coming in hot with election manipulation. Man's been dead for years. Well, I mean, it's the scary buzzwords. And like, I am convinced that this woman just wants to sell books. She's an author. She's a television producer. She hasn't practiced law in years in any meaningful way. So that's my theory. I think the whole reason she is doing this is because Trump supporters are fucking gullible. And I don't doubt, and her books, I called her a fiction author, but apparently her books are about like corruption in the Justice Department and deep state bullshit. So, I mean, she knows her audience.
If anybody were actually going to do an honest investigation.
What more could you tell us about that alleged conspiracy? The governor's involvement?
I can't give you any more details on that now, but it would certainly warrant an investigation. If it had been reported to me as a law enforcement officer, I would be investigating it steadfastly.
You know, I know you say you want to do your arguing in court. You are an attorney. You're not a press secretary, but you all did have a press conference last week.
She isn't going to say shit in court. None of Trump lawyers have. I keep telling right-wingers this. Because they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're delusional. I'm like, look up the fucking court transcripts. Trump's lawyers aren't alleging fraud in court because that's perjury. If you don't have any evidence, you can perjure yourself. And I love, one of the responses that one of them gave me was, I don't know what a pre-jury is, but a jury would find that there was fraud in the election. Oh, shit.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, I do, Rudy.
Week, Jordan Sekelo said that there's going to be a filing soon in Georgia that would be explosive. Can you tell us anything? Can you make some news with us here tonight? Tell us anything new that you're going to present in that filing
No.
in Georgia.
Well, I can't say that yet, but hopefully this week we will.
This is the Hunter Biden laptop thing. Create a bunch of smoke so the right-wing numbnuts that are Trump sycophants will go along with it. And it doesn't matter what the facts are. Just look all over Parler. Courts must throw out hundreds of thousands of illegal votes in Michigan and Pennsylvania. Okay, this is fun. CNN sucks chance live on air.
It is possible it could go to the state Supreme Court. Here's the key real quick, Brianna. The key is that the
O'Reilly would probably ask her to hop in the shower and loofah him up.
Secretary of State says she can't do any sort of recount. She cannot do any sort of...
I mean, it's probably the Proud Boys out there fucking chanting it. Is that a Nazi symbol on the freaking bullhorn he's holding? I can't tell. It may be a cactus. But like right there. Fucking Proud Boys. By the way, I'm fucking Parler up. Almost 1,000 people have viewed me sharing out this stream. I never get that kind of play on Facebook. I've been loving Parler. Feel free to, if you're over there, if you're a masochist, and you enjoy this kind of shit, follow me on Parler at Justin Freakin. Dan Bongino, there must be a special counsel appointed immediately to review the Biden crime family's illicit dealing with powerful communists from China. Now, they've been calling him, and like, they come up with funny names. They've been calling him Beijing Biden, which is funny. But there's no truth to it. Trump has fucking all kinds of business dealings with China. As far as I know, no evidence of Biden ever having business dealings with China has come out. Fox News even reported that the Tony Bobulinski, the Sonahawk deal, never happened. There was no connection, nothing to prove that Biden ever had any business dealings. But I mean, they're just gonna keep running with it. Stop the Biden steal. It's really weird to live in the real world and then go into their little echo chambers. It's also scary. All right, so back to the Sidney Powell thing. They have booted her from the legal team. The Trump campaign actually issued a press release saying, like, she is operating on her own. She is not part of the legal team for the Trump campaign. And this came out today. Trump fears Giuliani, other lawyers in Biden vote challenge are fools that are making him look bad. First of all, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, let me address you right here now. You do not need the help of anyone else to look bad. You do that just fine on your own. But.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes. Yes, I do. President Donald Trump is worried his campaign's legal team, led by his personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani, is composed of fools that are making him look bad. Giuliani and other campaign lawyers have so far failed to invalidate votes and reverse an apparent victory for President-elect Joe Biden. That's never going to happen. It is the only thing he does well. Yeah, we're going to play that clip of Chris Christie here in just a second. Look at this. That fucking... Now, on Friday, we did the story about Rudy Giuliani's kid, Andrew Giuliani, testing positive for the coronavirus. What a, like, if Beavis and Gary Busey had a kid, it's Andrew Giuliani. But after the stream went off, our loyal viewer, Pumpkin, sent me this video that I did not know existed.
Please raise your right hand. At first,
So, this is Andrew Giuliani being a dumb fuck at Rudy Giuliani's inauguration in 1994.
it seemed a heartwarming example of father-son bonding.
That's the dude we just looked at.
Andrew taking the oath as New York City mayor, along with his father, Rudolph Giuliani.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
But when Mayor Giuliani went to the podium, so did Andrew.
I'm going to have a co-addressee, I guess. Andrew.
And soon he was upstaging his father's no-nonsense message.
Of the centrality.
No. Is this his son from the marriage where he married his cousin? Is that the reason why he looks a little inbred? Can someone find that out for me?
Of God to our city. And New York City will again be the capital of
Very
the
true.
world. It should be so, and it will be. All of you have the same ingenuity, the same sensitivity, the same talent.
I don't know that it would have been Rudy that's tried to give Sidney Powell the boot. Rudy has probably tried to hit on Sidney Powell. If I had to guess, there are actual political consultants in Trump circles that are saying, like, hey, this bullshit is going to cost us the Senate in Georgia. And this is more, it's not that Trump actually cares about the Republican Party. This has all been for his benefit. I would say it's more to stifle investigations that the Democrats might have the power to do with the Senate should they take control. Yeah, Trump doesn't give a flying fuck about Georgia at all. This is all about, you've got to look at it from the eyes of a psychopathic narcissist. It's all about self-preservation to him. And if I had to guess, somebody in his circle said, like, yeah, this is going to cost us the Senate, and then they're going to be able to investigate. Because if you keep Mitch as the Senate Majority Leader, you're going to be... And that's another thing. Wanting to fuck with Biden as much as you can. And trying to keep Mitch McConnell as the Senate Majority Leader would really fuck with Biden. But yeah, back to this dumb fuck.
Courage that our ancestors had, a stronger and a healthier city. It should be so, and it will be so. Thank you.
Wow. So that's a little chuckle fuck back in 1994. Currently, a special advisor to the White House. Now, a representative from New Jersey, Pascrell, has filed legal complaints against Rudy Giuliani, which Giuliani is already under investigation by the Southern District of New York. I don't know how he hasn't been disbarred yet. Has filed complaints against Giuliani and 22 other of Trump's attorneys, seeking to get them disbarred. And by God, they should be. It is insane what they've been allowed to get away with. Now, famed Watergate reporter Carl Bernstein had some tea the other night here on Twitter. Last night. I found this interesting. Naming names. I guess this is the second tweet here. No. First, okay. I'm not violating any pledge of journalistic confidentiality in reporting this. 21 Republican senators, in conversations with colleagues, staff members, and lobbyists, White House aides, have repeatedly expressed extreme contempt for Trump and his fitness to be POTUS. Now, what I've got to say is, like, where the fuck were you this entire administration? Ballless sacks of shit. You could have impeached him. It's been clear that he was not fit to be president for years. We all knew it back in 2015. I can't believe this has gone on this long and we've had to deal with this. The 21 GOP senators who have privately expressed their disdain for Trump are Portman, Alexander, Sass, Blunt, Collins, Murkowski, Cornyn, Thune, Romney, Braun, Young, Tim Scott, Rick Scott, Rubio, Grassley, Burr, Toomey, McSally, Warren, Roberts, Shelby. With few exceptions, their craven public silence has helped enable Trump's most grievous conduct, including undermining and discrediting the U.S. electoral system. But this has been going on the entire administration.
Despite his loss in Georgia and despite his repeated failure,
would do and what our senators, the Republicans in the U.S. Senate, by and large, almost all of them, have failed to do. Look, let's take a step back here and see what we're talking about. We are witnessing the Mad King in the final days of his reign, willing to scorch the...
And I've said it numerous times. We're like living through The Emperor Has No Clothes. Fucking crazy. They're not really jumping ship yet, and they can't jump ship. The Republican Party, the voters of the Republican Party, despite the disdain that the senators have for him, the voters of the Republican Party, they're behind Trump 100%. And we're going to see it in a few of the clips we're going to play here. I mean, it's got them crying. Literally crying. The Republican Party is 100% Trumpism now. Romney only has a spine because he's in Utah, where Trump is despised by the Mormon community. And that's why we talked about the story. Scott Baio said he's going to move to Utah and unseat Mitt Romney. And I'm like, this guy has no clue what he's talking about. But I'm here for that. Please move to Utah and try to unseat Mitt Romney. That would be hilarious.
The earth of his country and bring down the whole system to undermine our whole democracy, strip it of its legitimacy, poison the confidence of our people in our institutions and the Constitution for Donald Trump's own petulant selfish...
No, I want him to do it. It'll be entertaining.
We have a president of the United States, for the first time in our history, sabotaging his country. That's where we are. And will these Republicans continue to allow it for another day? Because every day it appears more and more that our system cannot handle, was not designed, neither our Constitution or our institutions, to handle.
And that's I absolutely believe Bernie would have won. But the oligarchs in power would have never, ever let him take office. And that we're lucky that Wall Street is okay with Joe Biden. And that's a sad state of affairs. And I'm looking at this on the bright side. Biden is going to be a very weak opponent for progressives. And we can give him a shellacking in 2022, putting progressives in the House. Maybe myself. A couple of weeks ago when I went down and voted, there was nobody on the Democratic side running against my Congressman, Mo Brooks. You may remember him from such stupidity as War on White People, Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks, who sat on the floor of the House that rocks falling into the ocean are causing the rising tides. Mo Brooks ran unopposed this year. I'm not going to let that happen. I wrote in myself against Mo Brooks. And you know what? If nobody's going to run against him, I'm going to run against him. And my platform will be Mo Brooks is a dumb fuck. I bet I could do well on that platform.
Handle an aberrant mad king like Donald Trump.
Well, I can answer your question. Will they allow it for another day? Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
They've allowed it for nearly 3 weeks. I'm not saying they should, but they clearly are. We've got Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse who've come out and
I don't know who this dude is, but I like him. He's right.
Today would be a prime time to do it with the president trying to have, Michigan legislators come to the White House.
Sasse really is the only one that's shown a little bit of spine. But I think he sees his political future. He's running for president in 2024. So that's what Ben Sasse is into. And that's why he allowed that audio to leak a couple of weeks before the election. Because, that doesn't just leak out. That was planned by Ben Sasse's people. Where he just completely bashed Trump.
So he can convince them to overturn the results of the election.
Let me name, say, 15 or so Republican senators, and what I'm doing is not violating a journalistic principle because they've told me what I'm about.
It was 22 in the tweet, wasn't it?
3 years, I've talked to members of staffs of the senators, members of committees, staff people, aides, assistants, people who have worked for these people. Let's look at 15 of these Republican senators who really disdain and even despise Donald Trump, have said so to each other. Let's talk about Rob Portman, Lamar Alexander, Ben Sasse, Roy Blunt.
Well, for the love of God, we have all kinds of audio, video of people, even Lindsey Graham, talking about how horrible Donald Trump is. They respond to their voters. And their voters are in this media echo chamber being spoon-fed exactly what they want to hear over and over again every day. That's why I showed you the parlor. These people don't live in reality.
Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, John Cornyn, John Thune, Mitt Romney we know, Mike Braun, Todd Young, Tim Scott, Marco Rubio, Chuck Grassley, Richard Burr, and there are others. Many, if not most, of these individuals.
I don't even think. Did he mention Grassley and Burr in the tweet?
See Donald Trump defeated in this election as long as the Senate could be controlled by the Republicans. They've experienced Donald Trump and his dishonesty and his pathological lying, and they know what Donald Trump has done to undermine the confidence in our institutions in this country. They've lived through the pandemic while his homicidal negligence is responsible for the deaths of hundreds.
I had not watched this interview when I called him a homicidal maniac earlier. We're going to cover that here in just a second. Here is Chris Christie, who's been on the Trump team for years now.
Early Wednesday morning, the day after the election, you said it's incumbent on him to come forward with the evidence.
He was part of the Trump transition team. He's been there from the beginning. Lay it on us, Christie.
There have now been 34 court cases the president has lost. We saw Pennsylvania last night. We saw Pat Toomey, the senator from Pennsylvania, say it's time for the president to enable this transition. It's time for the president to concede. The president's response was to attack Pat Toomey on Twitter. Is it finally time for this to end?
Yes. And here's the reason why. The president has had an opportunity to access the courts. And I said to you, George, starting
pretty much.
2:30 a.m. on
But he's still been sucking his dick on cable news.
Evidence of fraud presented. And what's happened here is, quite frankly, the conduct of the president's legal team has been a national embarrassment. Sidney Powell accusing Governor Brian Kemp of a crime on television, yet being unwilling to go on TV and defend and lay out the evidence that she supposedly has.
Or do it in court.
Conduct by any lawyer, and notice, George, they won't do it inside the courtroom. They allege fraud outside.
Thank you, Chris Christie.
When they go inside the courtroom, they don't plead fraud and they don't argue fraud. This is what I was concerned about at 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday night. Listen, I've been a supporter of the president's. I voted for him twice. But elections happen.
Why, Chris?
And we cannot continue to act as if something
You are not a man of character.
didn't happen. You have an obligation to present the evidence. The evidence has not been presented. And you must conclude, as Tucker Carlson even concluded the other night, that if you're unwilling to come
Old Tucky.
the evidence, it must mean the evidence doesn't exist. That's what I was concerned about starting on election night. And
Hunter Biden laptop. Tucker Carlson says the evidence doesn't exist.
Republicans starting to say this. I said it on election night, and I hope more say it going forward because
It's just about riling these people up, getting them in the streets, showing that there's some kind of popular movement, and then grifting on them. That's all this is. Sidney Powell just wants to sell books. Now, this is a batshit fucking call. You guys are gonna freak out about this if you haven't seen it already. It's a caller to Rush Limbaugh Thursday, I believe it was.
It's great to be here. I'm going to try to hold myself together, not get emotional here, but I want to harken back to your statement about Georgia and about the Trump voter.
Yeah.
And they should be very afraid, very afraid. Trump and you are all we have left, Rush. We've spent our lives voting for these people because they're not them. And we just can't do it anymore. We're tired of being stabbed in the back, Rush. It's better to have an enemy that's in front of you than a friend that's behind you that's just going to stab you. They do it every time. We have a Republican-controlled state, and they won't do an audit of the vote. They won't. They just basically told...
They did! They did! They did an audit of the vote! They just finished it up, and now Trump is asking for another recount. He was talking about Georgia, right? Limbaugh can't die fast enough.
Every Georgian that they
He is a gigantic piece of... And that's another thing. Limbaugh and right-wing radio, after they lifted the Fairness Act, and AM talk radio was able to flourish with right-wingers like Rush Limbaugh, like this is the start. In, 91, 92? Of this ecosystem that we are seeing, where they just tell people what they want to hear. Facts be damned.
on Saturday. Me and my 30.
And this is what you get. This is what you get from being propagandized for 30 fucking years. You go on Rush Limbaugh and you cry your eyes out like, oh, you're our only hope. Blah, 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 blah. We've only been voting for you because you're not those people. Because I can't for the life of me get a right-winger to make an argument about what about the left they don't like. They don't like I say dirty words. They always try to tone police me. The fuck your feelings crowd gets mad that I call them dumb fucks all the time. But when it comes to policy, not a goddamn one of them can make any kind of an argument. They never know what they're talking about. I saw one the other day. Talk about how education shouldn't be controlled by a centralized government. I'm like, hey, good thing we don't do it that way then, right? County boards of education have the power, and they work closely with the state boards of education. The federal Department of Education just allocates funds and sets minimum standards. Because states like Alabama, Georgia, used to teach lost cause fucking propaganda. Discriminate against students. That's the kind of things that the federal Department of Education takes care of. The actual decision making takes place in the county boards of education, with the state boards of education. Guess what that's not? A centralized government. Right-wingers are morons. They never, ever know what they're talking about. I've got another one that I'm constantly like, hey, what is it that you don't like? He's like, I want to abolish the EPA. And I'm like, why? local governments could take care of that. And I'm like, no, they can't. How is a local government going to be able to rein in a giant corporation like 3M, which is polluting the shit out of the Tennessee River right down the road from me? I'm from the coal fields of Pikeville, fucking Kentucky. If it wasn't for the EPA, they'd be dumping coal sludge in the drinking water. They do anyway, but it'd be way worse. Got a little off topic there. Sorry guys. By the way, if you didn't know, right-wingers are morons. And, hey, you can buy the shirt at the FREAKIN shop. Right there. Makes a great gift for the libtard in your life with the holidays coming up. Or give it to a dumb fuck right-winger and watch them get triggered as fuck.
Your old son, we saw more people than we've ever seen in our lifetime, ever. And we're season ticket holders for the Ravens, for God's sake. I've been in crowds of 80,000 people. I've been to Steelers games, for goodness sakes. I have never seen so many people, but were there any Republicans there? No. None. But
wait. What? There were no What was this thing that you went to?
Were the Stop the Steal rallies? Oh, the MAGA, the Million MAGA March, the white supremacist, the one that was organized by the fucking white supremacist Proud Boys. That's what he's talking about.
Rally, and you mean no elected Republicans? Is what you mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Our party leadership, quote unquote, if this were a Democrat rally, they would all be there. They were there for the anti-Tea Party movement, walking hand in hand up the steps.
Yep.
No one stands for us, Rush. Only you.
Oh yeah, because the left can depend on fucking Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They may do some kind of virtue signaling, wear the Kunta Kinte garb or shit. They're not fucking showing up on the streets. What the hell is this guy talking about?
And Donald Trump. God forbid, what do we have left? I love my president. I am not a revolutionary, Rush, but I will die for my president.
Cult. It's a cult.
He has given more to this country than anybody, and he has no need to. None. He's a billionaire.
He's not. Yes, he does. No, he desperately needs the protections of the office. I don't know. I've watched all these people out in the streets. For the sake of humanity, I hope it's a troll. But I totally believe it. All right, so are you guys ready to watch some MAGA meltdowns? This is I saw this video, Corey Trench on YouTube. I subscribe to you on my other channel, buddy. We're on a different channel over here. So this is MAGA Meltdown 2020.
The best is yet to come.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry.
The Vegas odds have flipped to Trump.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know if someone can pull it up.
That didn't happen.
Deja vu.
Whoa. No. Look, Joe Biden just took the lead in Wisconsin.
Joe Biden has won Michigan and gets the 16 electoral votes from the presidency of the United States.
Y'all need to check your hubris.
Yeah.
Because they keep doing this and they keep getting egg on their face.
If we win Arizona, it'll be legit. If we lose Arizona, it'll be legit. I can say that confidently. He's making these decisions. We found another 30,000 votes. We found another 40,000. President Trump still has a very clear path in Georgia. It's a slim margin right now, but I don't think it's this assured flip like people say. I think that President Trump still has a shot in Pennsylvania, despite what Chris Coons is trying to say.
The numbers are in our favor.
Well, Trump's numbers are going down.
Guys, this is fraud. This is absolute fraud.
What they want is for it to be an exact reversal. All the Trump supporters screaming and crying on the side, like as if that would ever happen.
As if that would ever happen.
Kiss my black ass.
Yeah, where is Bill Barr and the DOJ? Maybe they're in it.
Now, we played this video. This one right here. They're dancing to Rage Against the Machine. Like killing in the name of. They're like, fuck that, I won't do what you tell me. And like, what? Tom Morello would come out there and smack the fucking masks off your face.
Yeah, where is Bill Barr and the DOJ? Maybe they're in on it, everybody.
My allegiance is to him, not the Republican.
Bill Barr and the DOJ are in on it, guys. Brian Kemp, the fucking Republican governor of Georgia that's been a hardcore Trump supporter, he's in on it. Do you need any more proof this is a cult? These people are goddamn embarrassing.
DOJ, maybe they're in on it, everybody.
My allegiance is to him, not the Republican Party, not Mitch McConnell, certainly not democracy.
Frankly, we did win this election.
I'm no fan of Biden, but seeing the meltdown has been fun as fuck. But when you live in that right-wing media ecosystem, that's how you end up with this guy talking to Reuters. Brett Fryer, a middle-class Republican, a 50-year-old chiropractor in West Texas town, owns a small business, 2 undergraduate degrees and a master's degree. And that's... Smart people with the cognitive dissonance are the absolute hardest to break the bubble because they can come up with intelligent sounding reasons to believe the bullshit. And this is something that I want to explore probably in a YouTube video at some point in time. He attends Southcrest Baptist Church. The Venn diagram of Trump supporters and Christians is almost a complete circle. No lie. That's not a coincidence. He didn't like Donald Trump much at first during the U.S. presidential 2016 campaign. He voted for Texas Senator Ted Cruz in the primary. Now he says he would go to war for Trump. Has joined the newly formed South Plains Patriots, a reactionary force of about 3 dozen. Didn't even like the guy. Was that what Trump was doing the dance to? Like in the video I made? I think it was, wasn't it? Hold on.
Let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound.
So he's dancing to YMCA there.
I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear
And when I was doing this, when I edited this video together,
I hear a sound of shouting and singing.
hold up, this frame right here. His hands really are super fucking small. Like, I thought it was just a running joke. No, his hands are tiny as fuck. What the hell? Damn. And he wears fucking clothes that are too big, but the little tiny fucking baby hands. I really liked after the grab him by the pussy video leaked out. There was a meme that went around. It was the Hillary and Obama laughing. It was like, as if his tiny hand could even grab a whole pussy. And like, that killed me. Nothing will convince Fryer and many others here in Sundown, including the town's mayor, another Patriots member, that Democrat Joe Biden won the November 3rd presidential election fairly. And they're preparing for the possibility of a civil war. And believe me, I know they hate me. I've got conservative friends that I can talk to about other things. We talk about politics and like just the disdain for me comes out. I'm like, how in the world can you have a civil conversation with me about movies or music or something, and then just you're dripping with hatred? I mean, I make fun of right-wingers all the time, but at least like I have substance to my critiques. I don't understand it. And I don't think there's going to be anything in this article that really illuminates why they think that, other than they just want to believe it. They have convinced themselves to believe it. And it has to be intertwined with that fucking, the God shit. Okay, so if you listen to Behind the Bastards with Robert Evans, he made a very good point that really made me feel better. Like this dude with 2 degrees in a Texas town in a nice middle-class house, he ain't gonna go to war. Probably drives a nice truck, blah, 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 blah. He ain't going to war. War is hell. These people are pussies. People go to war when they have no other option, when they feel like they're cornered. But I don't get how a smart person can see Trump's behavior over the last 4 or 5 years. The entire we covered it the other night, going all the way back to the 80s. He's been portrayed as a fucking buffoon. But especially like over the weekend, Trump skips the G20 pandemic event to visit his golf club. He was golfing instead of being at the G20 where they were talking about the coronavirus pandemic, which is out of fucking control in this country. Very true. I mean, right-wingers are all talk. I mean, they're constantly trolling me and shit. Do you know how many times I tell people on Parler, on Facebook, hey, you think I'm stupid, right? Give me a call. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Do they ever do it? No, they fucking don't. 917-830-4359. If you can make me look stupid, please give it a try. Hell no, you're not going to call in? Thought you were going to be on the show on Friday, Media Winch. Hell no, they won't call in because they're pussies. I shouldn't say that though, because like as there's like an internet meme, it's like pussies are resilient. Little dicks are fragile. You gotta do me a favor though. You gotta wear those cat ears. Everybody likes cats on this stream. Speaking of, I haven't seen my cats. Smokey! Usually he makes an appearance at least once during the show. European coronavirus restrictions appear to be paying off, according to the World Health Organization. I mean, doing anything different than what we're doing in the United States surely would pay off, because we're not getting it right over here. But you know, I'm sure that's something Trump didn't want to hear. That's why he jetted out to play golf instead of sticking around for the G20. Now, despite restrictions, we're still getting like shit like this going on. Well, New York Post is kind of spammy. This was a synagogue in New York. It was a wedding? Yeah, a Hasidic wedding. They planned it in secret in order to pull this off to get around the restrictions in New York, because New York is back to pretty tough restrictions at the moment. I believe they've shut schools down and everything. Look at this shit. Kept secret and only publicized through word of mouth. I'm sure they're spitting and hugging all over each other. Just insane. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. I had some more stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Kyle Rittenhouse exclusive interview will be here on this stream. Mark it on your calendar. Make sure to set an alarm. You do not want to miss this. I promise you, it's going to be fun. All right, so last night was the WWE Survivor Series. And this was part of the Undertaker's farewell, 30 years to the day that he made his debut. I want to show you this because this is Kane, better known as Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs, who is a hardcore Republican, who is a hardcore Trumper, and has been bashing the local health department in Knox County for their restrictions. Oh, you didn't know that? Yes. Kane is the mayor of Knox County, which is Knoxville, Tennessee. And God, he's so fucking stupid. And he's not a dumb man. But he said a lot of fucking stupid shit. And he has been attacking the health department to the point to where people in the health department have had to say that they're getting death threats, that they feel scared to come to work. Because the mayor of the county has been attacking them nonstop. But now, what I want to show you is knowing this about Kane, Glenn Jacobs, knowing that he's a hardcore right-winger, never seen with a mask on, despite the fact that he wears a mask all the time in wrestling. Watch what the other wrestlers do that are in the ring when he comes in. Especially Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels right there in the hat. Like, Shawn's like, no, get away. And now that's another thing, is like fucking WWE. For the Undertaker's farewell, they brought in Ric Flair, who was on his deathbed. Man's 65, 66, 67, something like that. 70 maybe? Fuck. 71. 71-year-old Ric Flair, who almost died a year or two ago, brought back all these old wrestlers. Henry and Phineas Godwin, The Godfather, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels. They're all old men. Savio Vega. Brought back all these old men during a pandemic to pay tribute to The Undertaker, also an old man who looked very much like an old man. Now, I watched this last night because I don't watch wrestling much anymore, but it's the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker, and they're giving him his send-off. They did a documentary about Undertaker in the vein of the Michael Jordan documentary that happened on ESPN. They did a documentary about The Undertaker and really revealed a lot about him. And that's one of the reasons why I did not cry at all during his final farewell last night. Like, fucking, when he put his hat and his coat down in the ring 3 or 4 years ago at WrestleMania, I cried because I thought The Undertaker was retiring. But back in the spring, they did this documentary about The Undertaker, 8 parts, something like that. And I realized I cannot stand that man. He did, like, most of the time in the interview, he had a thin blue line shirt on. Everything was like, God, my kids, my God, guns, God, God, God. Fucking, they showed him training in his ring, and there were fucking Bible verses all over the walls. His wife has this brand. Some kind of religious brand. Grifters, as always. And they both had the fucking brand on all the time. I'm like, wow. I really do not like this guy. And also, like, I was expecting, I thought he was going to be a very, tough, and apparently he is a tough guy and everything, but my God, he was so far up his own ass. Talking about, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I go out there and perform. Blah, 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 blah. So, fuck you, Undertaker. You ruined yourself for me. I do not like you anymore at all. And that's why I was very surprised that I didn't cry. Undertaker's been a huge part of my life for years. I was a hardcore wrestling fan. Not so much now that I actually know, and that's, never meet your heroes, I guess. Never fucking watch a documentary that really exposes who they truly are, because, you might have a distaste for them. So that was The Undertaker's send-off last night during the Survivor Series. I was not a fan. He hobbled out to the ring. It was very uneventful. The video package they did was good, though. All right. Animal videos. This one's been going around on Facebook.
This is the moment Richard Wilbanks wrestles an alligator to save his dog's life.
He just came out like a missile.
The sound of his puppy's cries are too upsetting, so we're not sharing it.
They're like children to us.
Wilbanks pried open the gator's mouth
and
saved his dog.
Thank you for not playing the cries. I probably would have cried over that. Oh my God.
He had one little puncture wound. My hands were just chewed up.
Even after being dragged underwater in the jaws of a gator.
Oh, sweet baby.
I was able to save Gunner's life.
But how did this terrifying encounter get recorded? The answer, a partnership between the Florida Wildlife Federation and the F-Stop Foundation.
The video was jarring.
Meredith Budd is the regional policy director at the Florida Wildlife Federation. They typically capture videos of things like deer or bobcats, not this, and it's all part of a campaign called Sharing the Landscape.
We live on a shared landscape. We don't just want to tolerate wildlife, but rather we want to thrive with wildlife on a shared landscape.
Their goal is to help people appreciate and understand the wildlife.
That's what conservation is supposed to be about.
So help reduce the conflicts that can sometimes happen between people and nature.
It gives us a new appreciation. We do need to be aware they are wild animals. They're not here for our benefit. We're very lucky to share the space with them.
Gunner's now a little hesitant getting near the water, but because Wilbanks calls this a learning experience, he's keeping Gunner away from the water.
Oh, that's a baby alligator.
On a leash.
Keep your guard up. Enjoy, but don't get too close.
Oh, that's just insane. All right, last video of the night. Another animal video. You guys are going to love this. This is perfect for my show. We're going to listen to a few minutes of animals cussing. Birds cussing.
Come on, you can say other things apart from swear words. Stop cursing and speaking French.
Shut up. Shut up. You stupid baby. Cunt.
I know I'm a fat bastard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're frustrated.
He's gonna come sit right.
That's crazy.
Try to pet him.
No, no, that mother got the big ass big gun on there. Fuck you.
What the fuck, now? What now? Wow. 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 Wow.
He's mad. Big mad.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow. That's an aggressive little shit. Is this Belch?
Today? You're not a fucking legend at all. Did you bash up the dog? No, you're not a fucking legend.
Yeah, he is.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, I have a friend that has a parakeet. I should ask her to come on, see if we can get to say funny things. All right, do not forget. Coming up tomorrow. Big night. We're going to be interviewing accused Kenosha killer Kyle Rittenhouse. Got a lot of people looking forward to that. If you are watching on Twitch, let's see who we can raid. We're going to raid $27. They have good communist content. So I'm going to send you guys over there. That'll do it for me tonight. Go ahead. Light one up. Tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for the Kyle Rittenhouse interview. We will see you tomorrow on the Troll Patrol. Live.